guys, and welcome to my channel, Generalist, where I talk about general topics and all kinds of interesting stuff, just like the name of the channel suggests. So for my very first video, I want to talk about a player that I absolutely love, yet almost nobody seems to be talking about. Unless you're one of those career mode addicts who spend hours searching for hidden gems, you've probably never heard much about him. A La Masia graduate, Manchester City educated, and a player whose style reminds many people of Andres Iniesta, this is Adrián Bernabé Garcia. But what makes his story even more incredible is that just months before joining Parma, he had to undergo heart surgery. Imagine being one of the brightest young midfielders in Europe, only to hear that your career could be put on hold because of a heart condition. For many players, that would be the end of the story. For Bernabé, it was only the beginning. He recovered, returned to football, and slowly rebuilt his career step by step. No headlines, no huge transfer saga, no media hype, just hard work, patience, and football. And that's exactly why I wanted to make this video. Because football isn't only about the biggest names. Sometimes the best stories belong to the players nobody is paying attention to. But before we dive into the numbers, the tactics, and everything that makes Adrián Bernabé such a special midfielder, let's answer a simple question. What makes you fall in love with a footballer? Maybe it's the goals, maybe it's the trophies, maybe it's the skills. Everyone has a different answer. For me, it's something else. It's the first touch. The way a player receives the ball tells you almost everything about him. Great players don't fight the ball, they invite it. They make the difficult look effortless, as if the ball is attached to their feet. Then comes the way they think. Before most players even know where to pass, they're already scanning the pitch, seeing spaces that other people don't even notice. And finally, there's passion, not just celebrating after scoring. I'm talking about the desire to keep asking for the ball, even after making a mistake. The courage to take responsibility. The determination to keep creating when the game isn't going your way. That's the type of footballer I admire. And Adrián Bernabé has all of those qualities. He's not the fastest player on the pitch. He's not the strongest. He's not the one scoring 25 goals every season. But every time he gets on the ball, something feels different. He slows the game down when it needs to slow down. He speeds it up when everyone else is standing still. He makes football look simple. And if you've watched enough football, you'll know that making the game look simple is one of the hardest things any player can do. Now let's talk about what actually makes Adrián Bernabé so valuable on the pitch. One of his biggest strengths is his versatility. Modern football demands players who can adapt, and Bernabé is exactly that kind of player. He has played as a defensive midfielder, a central midfielder, an attacking midfielder, a right midfielder, and even as a right winger when needed. Of course, just because a player can play in 5 different positions doesn't mean he should. His best role is in midfield, where he has the freedom to receive the ball, dictate the tempo, and connect every part of the team. He's the type of midfielder coaches love because he gives them options. Need someone to help build attacks from deep? He can do that. Need someone to break opposition lines with a pass? He can do that too. Need someone to carry the ball forward under pressure instead of simply passing it backwards? Again, that's one of his biggest strengths. What really stands out isn't just his technical ability, it's his decision-making. A lot of creative midfielders try difficult passes every time they touch the ball. Bernabé doesn't. He knows when to play the simple pass, he knows when to slow the game down, and he knows exactly when to take a risk. That's what separates intelligent midfielders from simply talented ones. Another thing I really like about him is how comfortable he looks under pressure. You'll often see 2 or even 3 opponents closing him down, yet he rarely panics. Instead of rushing the ball away, he'll use his body, a quick turn, or a simple touch to escape the press. Those moments might not end up on social media highlights, but they're incredibly valuable during a match. And then there are the numbers. During his time in Serie A, Bernabé has consistently ranked among the league's better midfielders in several key areas. His passing accuracy has been excellent. His long ball success rate has been impressive. He's created chances at a high level, progressed the ball consistently, and has shown that he can move his team forward instead of simply keeping possession. He has also ranked highly in progressive carries, key passes, and shot-creating actions, statistics that usually belong to midfielders trusted to control games rather than just participate in them. But here's something important. Statistics never tell the whole story. You can look at passing accuracy, key passes, or progressive carries all day, but they won't show you how calm a player is when everyone around him is panicking. They won't show you the confidence to demand the ball every single time. They won't show you the tiny movements that create space before anyone else notices it. That's why I always say football should be watched first and analyzed second. The numbers support what your eyes are already telling you. And when you watch Adrián Bernabé closely, you'll notice those little details that separate good midfielders from special ones. So, if Adrián Bernabé is this good, why isn't everybody talking about him? I think there are a few reasons. First, he plays for Parma. Parma is a historic club with passionate supporters, but it doesn't receive the same worldwide attention as clubs like Barcelona, Manchester City, Real Madrid, or even some of Italy's biggest teams. When you play for a club that isn't constantly in the spotlight, it's much easier for your performances to go unnoticed. Second, Bernabé isn't the kind of player who dominates social media. He doesn't score spectacular goals every week. He doesn't produce endless highlight reels full of stepovers and skills. His game is much more subtle. He's the player who makes the player next to him look better, and unfortunately, those players rarely get the recognition they deserve. Modern football fans often judge players by goals and assists. There's nothing wrong with that, but midfielders like Bernabé contribute in ways that don't always appear on the score sheet. Sometimes one perfectly timed pass is worth more than 5 fancy dribbles. Sometimes controlling the rhythm of a match is more valuable than scoring the winning goal. And those are the things Bernabé does exceptionally well. Another reason is timing. He's part of a generation filled with incredible midfielders, and naturally, the biggest names receive most of the attention. When fans talk about young talents, they often mention the obvious stars first. That doesn't mean Bernabé isn't at their level in certain aspects of the game. It simply means he hasn't had the same exposure. But football changes quickly. One outstanding season can completely change how the world sees a player. One move to a bigger club, one unforgettable performance in a major competition. Sometimes that's all it takes. Personally, I think Adrián Bernabé has all the tools to reach another level. He has the technical quality, he has the football intelligence, he has the versatility. Most importantly, he has already shown the mentality to overcome one of the biggest setbacks any athlete can face. Coming back from heart surgery and continuing your career at the highest level requires more than talent. It requires resilience. And that's something statistics can never measure. Let's not forget that he has also represented Spain at youth level and won an Olympic gold medal. That experience, combined with his technical ability, shows that coaches have trusted him for years. Maybe he'll become one of Europe's elite midfielders. Maybe he'll spend his career quietly controlling games without ever becoming a global superstar. Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. He deserves far more attention than he's getting today. And let me tell you this, if he starts playing in the Champions League, don't be surprised if he gets linked with Barcelona. So the next time someone asks you to name an underrated midfielder, don't just pick the obvious answer. Remember the player who came through La Masia, continued his development at Manchester City, fought back from heart surgery, and kept proving himself without demanding the spotlight. Remember, Adrián Bernabé. Because sometimes football doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what people think you deserve. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more stories about underrated footballers, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which player I should cover next. I'll see you in the next one.